So that's the good news. Bad news is I don't have really a lot of content for you today, but we're going to go over some market reports. Not some market reports, the market report, and look at what's going on in our market. What are you guys? First, tell me what you guys are seeing out there, inventory-wise, price-wise, buyer-wise, seller-wise. What are you guys seeing? Anybody?
Shortage of inventory.
Mm-hmm. What else are we seeing out there?
A lot of multiple offers.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still seeing high demand in the resale market, but I am getting quite a few emails from builders that they have actual inventory homes now, which is surprising because over the last year it was like a bidding war on new construction. So now I'm getting emails quite regularly from builders saying they have a few houses in inventory. So I think that's promising for our inventory issue.
It does. What else are we seeing?
As long as they pay enough commission, because I've seen those percentages for those builders. I mean, I don't know what's.
That's a different story.
Yeah, well, they're not too hungry to sell them yet, I guess, right? Because that's what people do when they're dying to sell something. They raise commission and they lower the and lower the prices, which they're not doing, of course. So
Yeah.
let them sit on them until you guys sell them. But yes, I've seen that 0.5%, 0.75%, 1%, $2,500 straight up that they're offering out there. And again, I laugh at this. And there was a post on one of the Facebook groups about somebody was critiquing people that were coming to his open house. He was having an open house. He was critiquing people that were coming because they weren't dressed a certain way and all that stuff. And I said, man, I remember times when you would give away, wine and hors d'oeuvres and, anything, the chair massage, the 15-minute chair massage you would offer for people to come to your open house. And now we're critiquing people who aren't wearing nice shoes to their open house. It's just funny how the market turns and how, once again, I don't know when it's going to be. If I did, I'd be way ahead of the game, but I don't know when it's going to be. But we'll be in that situation again eventually, where you're begging people to buy stuff. Just the way the world works, it goes in cycles. So be prepared for that as well. Yes. So everybody, you guys probably have friends that are not in real estate, and they tell you, "Man, you must be doing great in this market. It's such a great market, such a great market." That's what they hear. Yeah, it's a great market if you own a house, right? It's not a great market if you're counting on transactions to live and you don't have any inventory. So, I mean, it is a great market, but it's a good market, but it's not a great one like everybody thinks it is. And so keep that in mind when you're projecting your business and stuff, is that we live on transactions, not necessarily on home values. In fact, sometimes, as you know, that makes it harder, especially with home values going up and interest rates now going up. You're going to find fewer people that can buy, or fewer people that can buy nicer places. Yes, Natalie.
Yes, that's what I tell people. I said, well, it's hard to sell and buy something you don't have. We don't have houses to do that. So that's where I tell my friends. One thing I want to let you know about is I'm seeing a lot down in South Florida. We have a listing with Port St. Lucie down there, and the agents give the desktop underwriting, the DU approval, 6-page report with their offers. And I haven't seen that up here. It's only down in South Florida that I've seen that now. So, and it's it's loaded with a lot of information about the buyer. Okay. We had, oh gosh, it was probably a year ago now, because it's something that I saw, was a pre-approval that somebody put out, one of the lenders put out, and it had all of the check marks that these people had, and it had everything except for the property evaluation, right? Because they wouldn't know the property yet. So in this, it's so funny, you guys weren't even, there was a time not too long ago, you guys weren't even checking the pre-approvals, just like, I got an offer, sign it, let's go. And now, we want to do a background check on these people. No, that's good. And that's the kind of thing that would help. And a lot of lenders, talk to your lender partners and see who can give you the best pre-approval.
Don't just show up with a pre-approval. There are some pre-approvals are better than others, and some lenders are putting stuff in there. And if they're not, have them write you an extra. We're willing to do love letters and stuff. Have your lender write a little love letter, or whatever version of it that they do. But this particular lender was doing check marks all the way across. I was very impressed. I was like, wow, this buyer, according to this lender, is qualified. Of course, you still see some of those fall apart, but for the most part, that's it. They give you something like that where everything is checked except for the property value, and then you get an appraisal waiver. That's pretty solid. Anything else
with this, I see all 3 credit scores. I even see his employment salary. It's like really detailed, the desktop underwriting approval. So
okay,
well, talk to
your lender partners about that. I'll ask around about that as well. And see what Natalie, do you have, how many of those have you seen?
I have seen like 6 of them all down in South Florida. And I asked them, I said, I really don't see that up here in Orlando. They're like, well, we have to do whatever it takes to get our buyers' offers, accepted. And if you see that it's already been through underwriting and all the comments about the file, that's going to help us. And I'm like, okay, well so I thought it was a little too much information to be given out and maybe privacy issues, but they're doing it down in South Florida.
Well, if your buyer agrees to it, and if you tell them, look, do you want a house or not, then they probably will, right? So what I was going to ask is any of those lenders, people that we have, not the exact loan officer, but people, companies that we have here. And if so, contact them and see if that's what they'll do here.
Yeah, I already reached out with mine.
Okay, well, see if they'll do that here, and and people that can lend all over the state. So typically, so see if if your current lender partner won't do something strong like that, then maybe talk to some of these other people. If you guys think you're struggling with your buyers, because they can't hurt, right? So to show that they're strong, if they're strong. Okay, great. I'm going to take you guys on a quick study of the market report here. Just the one that's on the front screen of your matrix, if you're in the matrix. So I know some of you aren't, but are you guys seeing the front screen of Matrix here? Okay. All right, Market Watch. Let me see if I can blow this up. All right, Market Watch. New listings, 3,000. A few of them prices going up, a few of them prices going down. Back on market, 1,000. Sold, 5721. Almost twice as many as put on the market have been sold. And then another 5380 have been marked pending, which is pending is always huge. But guys, deals aren't staying pending as long as they used to. There's more cash deals out there. There's more people promising to close faster. One of the things that lenders are doing to help is promising to close faster, which makes sellers feel better. And we used to see a lot more withdrawn and canceled back when people couldn't sell properties because sellers would give up. But now we're seeing very few of those, or we're seeing those because the seller can't find something else to buy. I've never seen nor dreamed I ever would see so many sellers trying to back out of deals. And it's crazy. And it's because they can't find, for the most part, it's because they can't find anything else. They're getting everything they want for their house. It's because they can't find anything else. So look at expireds. That is crazy low. Expireds, those are probably, I'm guessing, vacant land and stuff like that just doesn't sell quickly. Let me see, I got some in the chat. Yeah, Dalton, when I started in real estate, there were 400 plus cancels withdrawn in a day. Yeah. There's nothing out there to cancel or withdraw. So that's what we're seeing, guys. It is a rough market out there for inventory. It's just not out there. So what are we going to see as interest rates have gone up and are sure to go up? Have you guys gotten any feedback from people about that yet? Nothing. No feedback. Nobody's discouraged. Buyers aren't discouraged. Buyers aren't hurried.
Yeah, it pushes them out of their original approval amount. It takes them out of a certain category range.
Yeah,
And this is
where
what-
do you think we're gonna end up? Do you think we're gonna be like, I mean, obviously in 6% at some point this year? Like, where do you see the rates going? What do you think?
I'll let anybody opine on that, but I've seen 9%, Christina. I've seen people saying 9%. But yeah, I think we're going to be in the 6s soon.
It's got to cause some sort of an adjustment in the prices, I think. I'm trying to tell sellers, if you want to sell, do it soon. Because I mean, there's a whole class. You're talking about never before in your life. I've never had so many people that are pre-qualified, but there's just nothing in their price point anymore. And same thing, people want to sell, but where are they going to go? So it's wild.
It's great, and you missed the very beginning when we talked about how all your friends think how great the real estate market is. But we live on transactions, and it's tough right now. So let's talk about that. I've been telling you guys for a long time that, hey guys, interest rates are going to be going up. It's a good time to buy or sell, and the answer is both. Right? It's a good time to buy, and like Christina just said, it's a good time to sell. So you guys know from your clients, they have a finite amount that they can pay every month, right? Only so much they can pay based on their incomes and all this stuff. And right now, debt is going up as inflation is hitting all the cost of everything else. Your cell phone bill, everything is going to go up, right? So your debt to income is going to go down. The amount they can pay is going to go down unless they are making more. So, but they can only pay $3,000 a month. Well, the amount of house you can buy for $3,000 a month is going down as interest rates go up. That amount they can buy is going down. The amount they can pay for the house, the principal, as the interest goes up, the principal obviously has to come down to fit in that $3,000 box. So if people want to sell, now is the time to sell. And if they're going to get into something else, do it now rather than when interest rates go up to 6, 7, 8%. Okay. Talk to your clients about this. I'm not saying, force them to move, but talk to them, give them their options and explain to them how the market works and how they're not going to get as much for their house as interest rates go up. Because yes, Christina, it's going to cause a correction of sorts. I don't think the prices are going to go down because we still have this, it's not a perfect market. We have outside demand from other areas of our country and of the world looking to buy here. And because they're seeing that our values are behind theirs. And besides, everybody in the world wants to live in Florida anyway, obviously, since I was born. So that's what's driving this. And that's where this is going. And that's why it's a good time to sell. If it's a good time to buy, it's a good time to sell. There's tons of buyers out there. You're going to get a great thing. But, as you guys got to do, and Natalie hit on this before, help your buyers, help these sellers who are going to be buyers, help them feel confident that they can buy something and use whatever means necessary. Approval, awesome. Do it. Do whatever it takes to get it done. I mean, this is what you guys do for a living. Make it happen. So, side note, so many people with their cameras on this morning. You guys look great. I am so glad that you're, even those of you who don't look great, you're here. I love it. Thank you very, very much. You guys are doing great. So any other questions? And I have like nothing for you guys today and you all show up. This is great. Maybe I should do this more often.
I do. Ryan, good morning.
Yes, Mel.
So I don't know if you all received an email from Lennar, but I did because I guess I'm on their email list. Lennar went from offering 1% commission to 0.75% commission, and they are doing offers instead of the regular, set prices that they have and the regular, this is your lock-in price. No, they're now doing offers, which to me means whoever gives them the most is who's going under contract with them for 0.75%, which is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's different in different markets though, because here in Tampa, I just got an email from Tampa Inventory, and I asked, and she said it's 1%. But last year it was 1% for your first transaction and then 3% for additional transactions. But this year it's just 1% for any transactions, what's set right now. And it changes all the time. They change, with market conditions. And when they need us, they'll pay us more. When they don't, they won't. So, I mean, all we can do is just not encourage our clients that way. Tell them to look up Lennar reviews. If you look up any builder reviews, you'll find tons of crap. That's what I've been doing lately. I was like, thanks, Lennar. The Lennar sales agent I work with here in Tampa is amazing. She's really great. Super sweet, kind, really good at her job. It's not her fault. But I'm not sending buyers to Lennar right now. D.R. Horton is paying 3% over here in Tampa.
Correct.
And plenty of other ones are.
Yes, KB Home is still paying 2%. D.R. Horton is paying 3%. So I'm keeping those. And I wanted to ask, I don't know who was the lady that made the comment about the underwriter letter. I'll be interested in that information because I am actually looking to buy myself in this crazy market. But for me to submit an offer on a home, I am interested in knowing that because I don't care. I give out my credit score. I don't care. I just want a house.
And I think, yeah, that was Natalie. And I think that is, Natalie, if you could share that information with us, that would be wonderful. Not right this minute, obviously, but whenever you get around to it. Yeah, I think what Malvis is saying is how your buyers are going to feel too, right? I mean, you guys, some of you guys have told me my buyers are crying and, well, I can't find a house. I mean, there's, if they're cry, they'll put their credit score out there. I mean, they're not going to run into these people at Publix anyway. So, I mean, who cares?
I don't care. If anybody has a listing coming up in the East Orlando area, let me know, please, without breaking any rules or whatever, but let me know.
50 grand over asking cash. Malvis closing 5 days. Thank you, Malvis. Oh, never mind then. It's Angie.
Yeah, so kind of on this topic also, has anybody worked with Knock, knock.com or anything else like
Heard
them?
of it.
I recommended them to some buyers. They haven't used them, but I have some buyers that are making amazing offers, waiving appraisal, but because they're financed, they're just getting beat out by these cash offers over in St. Pete, and it's just ridiculous. They've been like runner-up on the last 3, and they finally just decided to give up. So I asked them to check into Knock. They're kind of old school, so they weren't really understanding what it is. From what I can see here is they'll put in a cash offer for you, and then they'll finance you. So you would use them as your lender. They also have appraisal protection. If the appraisal comes in low, they can help you bridge the gap by lowering some of their other fees. And they say there's no extra fees. It's just their regular financing fees. So I don't know if anybody has any experience with that.
I want to tell you guys something. I don't think we do, Angie. We looked at Knock on here probably 2 or 3 months ago, and we knew nothing, and we explored it together. I did not know somebody asked, and so we got online and looked at it together.
Okay.
I have not seen any of you guys use Knock. I haven't heard of you guys using Knock, but I know it's out there. There are lender guys like Natalie's saying with the complete underwriting package. There are these lenders are out there hustling to try to make things work for you guys to benefit themselves. And they have a lender friend of mine on Facebook who did a video the other day about, I'll get them in here. I'll get him in here or get somebody else in here that's doing this, about how they make your offers cash. They make them as good as cash, right? And a lot of lenders have programs for that now, to where Knock have been doing it for a while, but these people are, they might be Johnny come latelys, but they're out there now, and all the lenders are pushing them. Have you guys worked with any lenders who are doing that? And if not, would you like me to bring one in? Because I will do that.
Sure.
And make your offers look like, they make them as good as cash. Now, what that means, if they, hold your firstborn hostage or something until you pay them back, I don't know. But they're doing that to make your offers look as good as cash. So I will find out what it is exactly. He was, of course, just teasing it on Facebook. Call me, tell you all about it. But we'll figure it out. In fact, I'll contact him, and if I'll try to get him on. We have somebody for next week. I'll try to get him on the following week, or if I can get some information for you before then, I will. Any other questions, comments? I'm sure there's a bunch.
Hey, Ryan, this is Javier Rangel. We have a townhome that's we're going to be listing here. It's a townhome in Kissimmee. It's used as an Airbnb. They have bookings goodness, summer 2022, November, December 2022, and on to February 2023. So my question is on the MLS, do you put it as tenant occupied? And do you have to take it off the market when you cannot show it? We are thinking of designated like an open, like one weekend just to have like an open house. But how would you list it on the MLS?
That is a great question about taking it off in order to show it, because you have to be able to show a property to have it on MLS. I don't know what the rules are with that. I've sold lots of tenanted properties, and sometimes, it's a mess until Thursday, and that's 4 days from now. And I've never had anybody complain about not being able to see it when you set up a showing for 4 days later. It happens. But then if they're going to be, if they're fixing the floors for the next 2 weeks, you take it temporarily off market. Somebody can't see it. So I don't know the actual rule on that. If anybody does, that would be great. But how long you can go without showing it? And I've never had a hard time on that. I know, but if I've ever had something that's going to be off the market for a little while, I just temporarily off market. So I don't know the rule on that. You definitely can sell it. Yeah, go ahead.
A lot of those vacation rentals, they just leave them on the market, and you have to go in and check the website out when guests are there and when guests aren't there. So they never take them on and off. You're just, sometimes they put the 2 dates that it's available, and then you have to check their calendar, but they don't seem to come on and off as they're available and not available.
Yeah, MLS really frowns on temporary off market and those kinds of limited showing approaches. So I would leave it on the market and just come up with a calendar and a realtor remarks and in showing time to tell them, and that's what I've done with a couple of rentals that I've sold for investors, is it's really a pain, and it's almost like doing an open house, because you'll put back to back. I did one at Chuliota. I only had 1 day to show it. I had 100 showings in a day. And out of that, I got 30 offers. So, but MLS, if you want to do temporary off market, that's a real pain to do. So from a listing side of the business, only do it if you're, doing construction or there's a real reason to do it. But if the MLS doesn't care how long it takes you to sell it, as long as you're attempting to sell it and you're keeping your client's best interest at heart and still following the rules.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and Javier, you definitely can sell it with the bookings in place. And I would think that, I think we talked about this, that there are heavy fees if you cancel the bookings. Like if you get someone who actually wants to live there and wants to pay for it, I'm sure there's heavy fees for canceling the bookings and stuff like that, penalties and fees and everything else. So, but you definitely can sell it as an Airbnb. It probably will sell. Any, sellers on the fence. Sorry, going through chat, guys. If you have anything to.
Ryan, I'd like to talk about the Orange County rent controls and what we think the market's going to do in that area. I know we're listing and selling agents here, but I work with a lot of investors and have my own. If we see that trend continue, because they're saying they're going to limit it to 5% a year, and I'm paying 250% of what I paid a year ago to get palm trees trimmed. So my costs are skyrocketing, and air conditioning has gone up probably 50% any last year. And I've got a lot of unfortunate there. So, I mean, we get these politicians in that don't understand how markets work, and I'm afraid they're going to do that as well. And then on the other end, I've got a new buyer coming on the market. It may need to be finance assisted, and the state's announced they're going to put out a lot of money, most likely for down payment assistance. But in this market, I'm not sure where they're going to go with that.
Well, that means going to go live today. Give them the MLS number.
Okay. Yeah. So Dalton is commenting on the state statute bars local government from implementing rent control. The government will get an injunction to stop it. I know I've heard a lot of activists talk about rent out of control rents, and that they're going to go for rent control. and there's going to be a lot of backlash for that, and I know all the reasons that as an investor you don't want rent control, and we don't want rent control in general. But that is, I don't know where to go with that, George. I don't know what to do with that. What have you seen on the possibility of them implementing that?
Well, the Orange County Commission is going to meet again in June. I belong to Central Florida Realty Investment Group, and what we're seeing there is our Rob Arnold over at Sandollar is the legislative liaison we have. He said that the room was filled at the Orange County meeting with people who were in favor of it because they couldn't get rents. And he said there were only 3 people from the landlord investment community that showed up. I don't have any currently in Orange, but I do have investors that do. And my cost is in the properties I own in Lake and Polk counties and my property here, they just skyrocketed. And you can't get people to do the work. And then, you're paying 250% of what you did in 2019. So it's crazy. And, you just take it because that's what you got to get it done. So the costs are way out of line as far as that end of the business goes. But my property in Claremont, I was able to raise the rent $350 a month when I switched tenants. But I also put in a complete remodel, and I'm having to do an air conditioning, things like that. So it is, they don't really seem to understand net operating income in the political world, and I guess they don't have to. But
they don't care, George.
Yeah, I know it doesn't get them any more votes, right?
Right.
But it's the economic reality of what's going on. So I'm just afraid that the government's going to overreach. If you remember in the Obama administration, anybody was in the 2008 realm when they did the TARP programs, they came in, they froze Denver's market when they pulled out of the market. So they tend to come in heavy-footed and leave heavy-footed. And the last half of 2008, there wasn't a house sold in Denver on the original market. And I assume that happened down here because there was boarded up places all over. New construction stopped halfway. There's just a multitude of houses in. And that all had to do, the crisis was created by government, and their attempts to fix it helped a little, but then they bailed out as soon as they, I guess, got caught positive press on it. So I'm real leery of government trying to help in what we got going. I think the market needs to sort itself out, and it will, if the government get out of the way and let us build houses. From that perspective, I don't know where the Aura will come down on that or not. Is it NAPOM? It's the rental organization. But we need to get really involved in letting these politicians know that's just not an answer. If they want to help people, they can help them, continue the rent subsidy programs.
Well, George, the property owners are not going to outvote or vocalize the renters. I mean, it's just not the way that it works. And if the 31 of us in here wanted to go to the government and ask for Elon Musk to split his money amongst the 31 of us, it would be 31-1, right? Elon would be against it, and the 31 of us would be all for it. So that's just not, government can't work like that. And as of right now, it can't work like that. So, we have state, as Dalton said, we have a state ordinance against, or state statute against it. So I don't know, but yes, you're right. We do have to stay diligent of what's going on in the government, and rent controls would definitely affect our investors.
Have you heard anything about what the state is generating in down payment assistance? I'm assuming it's coming in down payment assistance. I haven't seen the details on that, but the state has put money in. I assume it's through the Sadowski Fund for down payment assistance.
I don't know anything about upcoming.
Okay, I thought there was like $100 million earmarked to hit the market. I'll do some research, get back to you.
Awesome. George, I want to make you our official government liaison to tell us what's going on, because a lot of this stuff I can't keep up with, and that's wonderful.
Well, not
They're
wonderful.
they're always
ahead,
raiding
sorry.
the Sadowski fund and putting that money in other places though. And I think I saw a report that they're trying to do that yet again.
Yeah,
Did
Chris
you see
Sproul.
this article this morning? Florida Rent Relief Program helps 211,000 households. It was an email from floridarealtors.org. 1.5 billion, which is probably not the greatest thing, but
Yeah, I haven't
I guess
seen
they're
where
giving rent
that's-
relief out.
I haven't seen, Tammy, where that's coming from. I'm assuming it's going to come from one of those government programs that was put in place in COVID. And I think Florida finally got around to passing and enabling legislation to do that. I heard 100 million numbers. There's a 1.5 billion. That's probably, well, I guess that would be statewide either way. So quite a discrepancy in that. So I'll look at that article when we log off here.
Guys, I want to do a share screen about what Natalie told us earlier with the DU, the underwriting. You guys see that paper there?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna try to blow this up maybe a little bit more. I don't know if I can. See if I can blow it up a little bit. Yeah, here we go. I cut the guy's name off. It's up there, but I cut his name off. You see his. He's 90% loan to value, 4.25 is his rate. And I'm just going to scroll through this. Purchase price 600,000. We're scrolling. Obviously, they don't have a real address yet, so they've got 123 ABC Street. I don't know if you guys can see that, but going through this, it's got a lot of his information, approval conditions. It's got his credits and liabilities. He owes $1,500 on a credit card. So it's got some really personal information in here. It goes down here and account numbers and credit scores and all this stuff. It's got account numbers out, obviously, but gives a lot of detail.
So Ryan, I can send, if I can get the lender to do that for me, I can send all that information, because if there's anything private, I can just crash it, because I'm only sending it to the listing agent. It's just for me to win an offer.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't care.
Yeah.
I saw recently College Park is insane right now, and we offered on a house in College Park, and the listing agent just required they're not going to present any offers that aren't credit approved. So we didn't win the bid. I think there were like 30 offers, but my buyers did get credit approved. So now moving forward, at least we'll be able to say that, hey, they're credit approved. We just have to get the house.
Yeah, and make sure the listing agent understands that, because the seller's not going to. So make sure the listing agent understands. And I think this puts it very clear. And I think you guys, when you get these, I think you really need to pump them up when you present your offer. So be sure you're doing that. We talked about love letters before. I don't know if you guys saw the email this morning. It had love letters on there as well. Another state trying to ban them. Oregon banned them, and Oregon's state court shot that down because they said it's an infringement of free speech. So there's dueling things on that. So I guess what I'm telling you guys is use your love letters if you think it'll help. I don't know if it will or not.
So much cash. It's just so much cash right now. You know what I mean? This last one, we offered on another one in College Park, 40 offers. And we were like $20,000 over, credit approved, waiving like $20K of the appraisal. I mean, so much cash.
Yeah. You know what's better than a love letter? Cash. People love cash more than they love your
yes.
more than they care how much your family loves their beautiful house.
Remember the guy back in, I don't remember when it was. There was like some guy that was like, he was selling space on he was going to tattoo the name of like Best Buy on his arm or something. I don't
Yes.
know where we're headed. That might be next. Name
Yeah.
our firstborn after you and whatever.
Yeah, I saw a meme about that, all the things that people offer to do. And it just to me, I don't know why all this stuff just brings me to the opposite of that, because I remember the opposite of that back in 2008. Like George said, they couldn't sell a house, and you used to beg people to please make an offer, anything, you know. You could just, I'll take it in livestock, whatever, just take this house, you know. So funny. Lori Lowe won 2 bidding wars with love letters. One was a VA buyer. That is good to play on the VA thing. That is good. And Lori, you want to share a story on that? You can.
Ryan?
Yeah. Yes.
I have a question, please. Okay, I have listed a house in Margaritaville. It's very, very tough to show. And the owner does not want to leave it empty because of obviously the rental that he's getting, $400-500 a night. I'd kept an open house. I mean, he's getting calls from realtors, brokers, but I had open house 3 days and I had only 2 buyers that walked in, which is very strange because the way vacation homes are. I mean, I don't know what's going on because he doesn't make it available for me to show easily because he wants it rented.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do with this situation? Can you hear me? Because I am driving.
I can hear you. I don't know what to do with the situation. I'm thinking. I don't know why it's not selling. You've shared this in here before.
He gets non-stop calls and he's telling me, I'm going to call your broker. I said, I have even put it on the listing. Please do not call the owner. That's the best I can do. I said, I cannot stop because your information is out there. They find your cell number. I have not given your cell number to anybody. I mean, I just don't know what to do with this. And you know what? He's getting amazing amount for rental, but I just don't know why. Either there are realtors who live in Margaritaville, they're blocking it. I don't know what's going on. So help me out with this. Sold.
I don't know what's going on either. I've only been on the case for 45 seconds. I don't know either. I can work on it with you if you'd like. I don't know. So send me the information again. I know you sent to me before. You've been having this problem for a while, if I recall. So send this to me. You talked about it in here before, but send me the listing. And I'll take a look at it and see if there's anything weird about it.
I'm just addressing everybody's issues. Like people feel, oh, I want to get both sides of the deal. I don't. I want to participate with the other brokers and salespeople. I want to show, but I'm having a hard time with the owner because he's like, why should I let $500-600 a night go just for one show? I'm having a really, really hard time.
Yeah, so that doesn't make sense. So I mean, I see why he wants the $500 or $600 a night.
I told him, I said, you want to pull it out. You don't want to sell it, don't sell it. But I'm going through this.
Sunaina, yeah. I understand why he wants to keep his $500 or $600 a night. What I'm not understanding is why a buyer isn't seeing value in that, and in this market particularly. So I don't know why it's not showing well. I don't know.
I had open house for 3 days.
No, I understand. I don't know why it's not. I mean, it sounds like you've gotten people in there, and it sounds, people will buy these without even looking at them if they're making enough money, if the money makes sense. So I don't know what's going on there. I'll talk to you about it sometime. I don't know. I can't give you an answer right now, obviously. If anybody else has any idea.
I tried calling you. I tried calling you. If you want me to come and meet you, I'll do that, but I didn't get a response from you. So that's what I was trying to find out.
Okay.
Could you share the address of that property? Because I don't know who I'm talking with, but because there's only a number. But can you tell us the address for the property, please?
Yeah, put it in the chat, Sunaina. That's Sunaina. Put it in the chat, Sunaina, the property address. Somebody here might have a buyer for it. I mean, there's tons of investors who would love, Airbnb properties and stuff like that. So
I work with a lot of investors, and that's why I'm asking, because I really want to know what the locations of that property is at.
Yeah. And if anybody, and please, if somebody takes a look at it, please let me know, let Sunaina know why someone would want to buy that. Because your problem is not the showing and the people calling your client. The problem is that it's not selling in this market, which it should be. So I don't know what he's netting on these $500 and $600 a night. I don't know why it's not making sense financially for somebody to go buy that thing for $800,000. So
Yeah, and as the financials, the investment financials on MLS, so that can be readily shown to an investor buyer.
yeah, so we'll see. We'll see, George. He's going to give us the address. I don't see it yet.
Yeah, I've got one in Orlando. It's tenant occupied. The tenant's a little bit messy, but it's 230. It's in Lockhart area. It's kind of right in between Pine Hills and Maitland, but it's a cute little section. It's 230. It's the 3-1. The roof is brand new drain field, pipes, bathroom. It's a tenant that's month to month. He's a little dirty. If they can get past that, it's actually pretty good house block, you know, just under 1,000 square feet. So I put the address in the chat if anybody is interested. Let me know.
Awesome. A house for 230. I can't believe it.
I know. I'm surprised I had, you know, the tenant is just like real dirty, right? But it's like you just get him out, clean it, slap some paint on there. Like the major stuff he's done for 230. It's a block house. There's a huge lot. You could expand on it. And the cool thing is in the section that it's located, there's a lot of people around him that are doing that are flipping the houses or improving the houses or adding on. So there's no HOA. I mean, it's a great investment. He lets his buddies rent there, you know, like $600 a piece, like 2 of them, but you could charge more.
Wow. Lisa Sager actually sent your listing to someone this week. So people are looking at it. You mentioned a roof. You didn't mention walls. There's walls on this thing for 230, walls in the door. Awesome.
I got a really great, doghouse that I'm selling.
Exactly.
And I'll let it go for $300K if you ask nicely.
All right, guys. Any other questions or comments?
Hey, Ryan, I got a question. It's a very general question. I want to discuss on my social media properties that are available in my market. I understand I can't advertise a property without the authority of the listing agent. What constitutes the listing? Apparently, posting the listing information is the red line. What constitutes the red line? If I talk about the fact that there exist 5 properties in a price range, apparently I can do that. I can't discuss the address of those properties. Can I show a photograph of those properties?
No. No photographs. You can discuss the address, but you can discuss the photographs or property of the listing agent. Even if you go show pictures and stuff. I mean, what is the context of your advertisement?
Well, if I wanted to describe that I think these are not that I think, but these are the cheapest listings or the most expensive listings in my market. But I mean, where's the line? I can't show photographs that I take myself of the properties without disclosing the address.
Oh, gosh, that's a great question. I don't know that.
I'm just wondering where the line is.
But David, I wouldn't, and here's why. Because all you have to do is contact the agent, and they'll let you do it.
Well, I actually had a discussion this morning with a particular agent because I was planning on taking video inside the house itself, and she said that there was no permission to take video. I said that's fine. I don't have to take pictures from inside the house. She said, well, you can't take pictures outside either. I said, well, it's a public street. I can take a picture wherever I want. But apparently it's not that simple.
You can take a picture, but you can't. I wouldn't post on my social media. If she's telling you no. Well, I'm sorry. So I generalized. Most people, show of hands in here, people who would let him advertise your listings. Anybody would let him advertise your listings?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Most of us would let you advertise our listings.
So when does it become, where's the line as to when it becomes advertising? If I talk about the fact that there's a property for X thousand, then that's actually not, is it the question of specificity?
If you say that there's houses for sale in Oviedo, and you show a picture of my house, it looks like you're advertising my house. So
even if I don't describe the address.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like you're advertising. Oh, I know that house.
So,
Right.
so I can say if Agent X has a listing for your house for $1 million, I can say there is this house for $1 million in Avita. I can go that far.
I mean, I get the neighborhood update things all the time, right? Like, I mean, where they say I don't see photos, but I get, right? Everybody gets those postcards where like this sold for this, and they just mention listed by XYZ.
Right.
I don't know. I get those postcards all the time.
Hey, Ryan.
Yes.
Is David talking about a listed property?
Yes.
He's talking. Yes. Yes.
A listed property. There shouldn't be any problem listing it. I know if it's not listed, clear cooperation comes into play.
But no, but he can't show the property that you have listed. He can't advertise on his Facebook or Instagram or something without your permission or without
Correct.
our permission. And I've got news for you. If you guys do not want people to advertise your listings, you better let me know, because when they call the office, I always tell them, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of a known thing just by what you've said, that we had the ability to advertise anybody's listing because it's the office listings.
Well, no. Within our brokerage, yes. He's
Yes.
talking about he's talking about other brokerages.
Talking about a random outsider.
Yeah, like a Keller Williams listing. Somewhere.
Right. And my question is really, where is the line as to where it's listing information? Like if I say that there are 5 properties for under 500,000 or between the 400,000 and 500,000, I can describe that in general terms, right?
There are currently 16 pool homes in Orlando under $399.
So you can say that.
You can say that all you want. Yeah. I mean, if it's true.
You have to be careful with your description,
Yeah. So you would say that, and then you would
those kind of things you can do.
right. Well, you would say that, and then you would say, contact me for a list, and then you get them signed up on your auto emails, or you get their information and add them to your database, or you contact them, and obviously it's somebody looking somewhat interested in a house, and so you work that as a lead. So yes, see pool homes in Orlando under $399. There are currently, you don't think there are any? There are 6 right now. Whatever, right? Whatever.
But I can't show a photograph of the house.
You can't
from the
show
street.
You can't show one unless it's one of ours.
Right.
You have permission for that, or if it's I mean, you can put your house on there if you want.
Right. So
That's fine.
the specificity is if I describe the address or show a picture that is too specific.
I would say so, and particularly if you talk to somebody and they said don't do it, then you definitely don't want to do it. But
I'm just trying to avoid trying to get permission from everybody before I talk about their particular house.
okay, well, but if you're gonna put, one picture on there, I think you probably could get permission for that. You can pull a stock picture, whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Plus, Ryan, he has to check too to make sure it's not a single agent, but where a transaction. If the agent listed as a transaction, he can show, but single agent, he can't sell it,
What do you mean?
right? If he listed as a single agent, if the listing is a single agent, then we can't sell it within our organization. It has to be transactional.
Right. You can just do a transition to transaction broker.
So he has to know that too.
No, the other agent needs to know that. If he's just bringing the buyer, he doesn't need to know that.
No, from in our
listing.
organization, right? In our organization,
Okay, so if David finds a buyer for one of your listings, Edul, and you had it as a single agent listing, it's not David's responsibility. It's your responsibility to transition to transaction broker.
Right. To transition for him to sell it, right?
Together, it's your responsibility, but it's not his. He doesn't have to sign anything with his client until they have a deal, and then he will.
Right.
If he wasn't already, he's assumed to be transaction broker. Whether he has a buyer brokerage agreement or not that states that, he should be a transaction broker if he did a buyer brokerage agreement. So you guys should be using transaction broker listing agreements and buyer brokerage agreements.
Hey, Ryan, just a quick follow-up. Am I to assume that the restriction is if the property can be identified? For example, if I say this property has a pool and the bond is paid, descriptors of that type doesn't help anybody to actually identify the property, but it is some information. Is that okay?
I don't think that's very specific.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Is the restriction going to be on whether the property can actually be identified?
I don't think I could identify a property from that.
But what I'm saying is that the restriction? If the property can be identified, then it's advertising.
Well, the restriction is a reasonable person going to be able to assume that it's their listing, that you're advertising against their will.
I got you.
And do they care?
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
I have a quick response to that too. I do a lot of videos for other agents' listings, especially in like my neighborhood where I farm. And I send them a text before scheduling it. I almost always do just vacant listings because I don't want to put a video on Facebook or anything, somebody's personal content. So I look for ones that are empty in my area that don't have any furnishings in them or any are vacant. And then I send a text to the listing agent and say, hey, I have buyers that are looking in this area all the time. I do a lot of transactions through my social media account. Can I do a quick video in your listing and share with my followers on social media? And 99% of the time they say yes. And if they don't, then I just skip that and move on to the next one and don't mention their house. But I did get this in the mail to my house. Another agent just sold, like what I think Christina was saying, with like a list of sold. And maybe I could type this in the chat box too, because I don't know if this is a good disclosure she has down here, but these of course are not all her listings. They're just listings in her neighborhood. But she has a disclosure at the bottom that says information above is generated from the Greater Tampa Realtors Multiple Listing Service. Listing and or sales may not all be attributed to this agent. So disclosing maybe in your post or whatever it is too, that who the listing agent is might help you out also with, if they're giving you permission to do that. So if anybody wants to send out something like this, I would definitely advise to have a disclosure at the bottom that they're not all your listings. And hopefully just the address and the data is not enough to get you into trouble on these market reports.
So is the rule different if a property has already sold then? Are you able to identify it if it has already sold? Because it's not a listing anymore.
There's active ones on here.
Yeah. Yes, David, they don't own it once it's sold.
So once it's sold, I can describe it, photograph it, whatever I want.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, good.
So yes, but I would, Angie, I think that is, I'm not an attorney, but I think that is plenty of disclosure. If they're saying it's a market report, they're saying they probably didn't have any of those other deals, but they're saying may not all attribute to me, when in fact, probably none of them did. So it's that's perfectly fine. Yes, can he ask the broker rather than the agent? Yes, because people call me and ask me about your listings and I tell them, probably go ahead. Now the video, I don't tell them to go ahead and video because that is, like Angie just said, that is a, if you've got somebody living in that house, the seller probably doesn't want you coming in and videoing their house. That could be a problem for that. Vacant listings, sure, right? But actual listings where they're going to come in and video your house, that makes some people uncomfortable. It makes me a little uncomfortable. So yes, when I know photography is going to be done in a house, I tell people put your pictures down, take them away, the ones with your personal family on them and stuff like that. Nothing personal in there. Leave your Rembrandt on the wall, but take down the family pictures because we're going to be taking pictures in there. So whatever makes people comfortable. Some people care, some people don't care.
So I hate to beat a dead horse. I understand the restriction on if a property is actively being marketed, i.e. listed, but once it's sold, there's no restriction on my driving around my neighborhood and taking a video and saying these are the houses that sold in the last 7 days.
As long as you're not stalking people, David, that's fine. I mean, no, somebody lives there now. Somebody bought it. It's done. Nobody, right, so I don't control a listing once it sells.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right. You bet. Now don't take pictures, guys. I know you know this. Don't take pictures off the MLS. They will get you if you're using them especially if you're putting them back on the MLS. You guys, I hope you know better than that. That is an instant fine.
That's what I do for all my listings. Am I not supposed to be doing that?
You just got to blur out the stamp they put on there. It's fine.
Got it. Okay. All right. Cool.
All right. And yeah, so we've had people get in trouble for using their own photos. Once they put them on the MLS, they pulled them back off the MLS for another listing in the same neighborhood. And they do neighborhood photos of condos and stuff like that, of the amenities and stuff. Instant fine. They're like, it's my own picture, but you've already given it to the MLS. So you can use the same source picture again from your camera roll, but you can't go get the one you already put on MLS and pull it off. So just be careful with that stuff. Instant fine. Any other questions or comments?
Do you have any winning lottery numbers or anything?
I do not. You'll know when I do because my box will be empty. Right? Today's open forum is canceled. See you suckers never. All right. All right. I don't see anything else that I can really respond to in the chat. So you guys.
I have one more question. I just got a text from a buyer. I just sold their house. I sold him a house, but he's like, we're interested in warehouse and industrial space to lease that they would build out. Does the net, is it LoopNet? Do they put lease space on there?
Yes. Try LoopNet.
Yeah, this is not like my area of expertise, but I'd like to help.
All right. I just put Crexy too. Try LoopNet, try Crexy.
Okay. Yeah, I registered that not too long ago.
One question real quick too.
Yes, ma'am.
Dalton mentioned about bridge loan. Can you explain real quick what a bridge loan is? If you know, or anybody?
Yes. A bridge loan will get you money quickly to where you can get your own financing in the next. A bridge loan usually lasts 6 months, 9 months, something like that. Time enough for you to get a property bought like cash. It's almost like a hard money loan, only it's just for 6 or 9 months, and then you're out. It's usually at a higher. There's points, and it's at a higher thing. You pay for it. It's expensive.
Okay.
Okay. But it gets you. It makes you like cash. Usually it's a lot of times it's not even credit related. A lot of times it's just property related. You know, they do it based on the collateral rather than the credit. Maybe a little bit of credit, whatever. But typically bridge loans they are temporary loans at a higher interest rate, so you can take them out with a lower interest rate loan, a permanent loan.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Lisa, I didn't say to blur anything out. I think I hope I didn't cut out there. Do not blur anything out. Do not use the MLS photos. The ones that has the MLS stamp on them. Do not take a photo off MLS. And hello to Steve Smith. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Do you guys notice these meetings go a lot better when I don't have any content to bring? I've noticed that. It makes me not want to bring content.
Does somebody have their hand up or no? I see something.
Oh, yes. Yes, I did see that a moment ago, and I think she put it down. Patricia, are you here? Oh, there she is, hand up. So it might have been an accident. I think it might have been an accident. She was just yawning or something. Any other questions or comments? Man, you guys have done great. You guys look great. So many of you with your cameras on. I've never seen this many. It's great. So love it. And we'll see you next week. We have an attorney next week. I will get you more information exactly what they'll be talking about, but it's going to be an attorney and it's going to be exciting. So as exciting as attorneys get. So we will see you next week. George, a big round of applause for George, who is our new government liaison. Thank you, George. We appreciate whatever you can bring to us every week. We're going to have a segment on here for you. All right, our government minute with George. No, I really appreciate that, George. You are on top of stuff, and I love it.
My granddaughter's coming to town. You're not going to see me.
Come on, man. I just got you a new segment. Now, what's more important, us or your granddaughter?
Yeah, you figured that out.
We'll know next week when we don't see you. We'll know who's more important. All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it, everybody. And we'll see you. Angie, see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Bye.